seem to have cultivated a lack of integrity on exactly this for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is somewhat familiar. I'm wondering if there was anything you to offer on it.
What to do about a lack of integrity?
Yeah. Any time I have the sense that there's any possibility of awakening,
Mm-hmm.
everything in me will stop it at any cost.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't. And I have carefully, again and again, I have said that I will sit down until I wake up and God enough.
Mm.
I've carefully cultivated not doing it.
Mm. It's difficult. It's true. Well, one thing you can do is make small commitments that you can definitely do, and do those, and pay attention to that. Because then you'll notice if you have a resistance just to doing something you committed to itself. But if you make it small enough, you can break that. You can still do the commitment, and then you weaken that pattern. Of course, it's dangerous to make a major commitment to ourselves and then not follow through. Lying to other people is bad, but lying to ourselves is very bad. If you can't trust yourself, you're in a very hard place. And we know ourselves, from a certain perspective, we know ourselves very well. And we can't help, simply because of a lack of information, we can't help but think that probably everyone else is basically like that. So if we found that we're not trustworthy, then naturally we'll be living in a world in which no one is trustworthy. Because that's how we will see everyone, since we don't know. We act like we're trustworthy, and then we do things and we realize we're not, so probably everyone's like that, and so then we have to live in that world, and it's very sad. So it's very risky to do that, as you know. Well, good news. The Buddha gave this metaphor about salt in water. If you have a little bit of water, and a little bit of pure water, and you put a teaspoonful of salt in it, it will be extremely salty. It's once you've poured the salt into it, it's very difficult to get it back out. Very difficult to pull the salt out of that water. In the same way, we have this life and we pour a lack of integrity into it, and then it's very hard to get it back out. So what do? Well, then we have to do something difficult. We have to add a lot of water. We have to keep on adding more and more water, and if it's a huge amount of water, so if you put some salt into this pond here, it might not be a good idea, but it's not that salty, and the beings in it, in general, will be still okay. So you make a mistake like this, it's like pouring some salt into a little bit of integrity, and then you just have to keep on adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding until the salty taste is very slight. So that means you make commitment after commitment that you follow through on. And you notice, actually, that you like to do that. And that changes things. Because if you like to do it, well, then maybe everybody likes to do it. And if we like to do that, then that says something about who we are also. We may make mistakes, have defilements, ignorance may perpetuate itself and such, but we don't enjoy that. Well, that says something about us. So I'd suggest making a lot of commitments and following through. Small enough that you can do them, for sure. And so the only reason you wouldn't do them is that you're facing the problem that you brought up. That something in us, let's just face it, it hates and knows, good, I can cause harm to this person who I hate by doing this, myself, for example. I can set the situation up so that a promise is made and then broken and then suffering will happen, and that's what I want, because that's in us. So then you're just facing that. And on the one hand, so then it's a win-win, because it's a small enough commitment that you can face it, or it's a small enough it comes up, but you're facing it, or it's a small enough commitment that you follow through, and then you have that little bit of water to add. As you know very well, and are a pillar of the community in this way, sometimes things just take hard work. We were talking the other day, and someone was talking about how amazing it is that people here enter such deep concentration so fast. And you were saying, well, what you should say is, what's amazing is that people are here, and after years they have achieved nothing. That's the really impressive people. So it's true, it's this hard work sometimes that is the most impressive part. Just keep on trudging. And otherwise we're just trying to not take responsibility for what we've done. But that isn't the way we walk here. So, is that sufficient for now?
It's sort of, it's like I need to do this by being at the retreat. So it's like I know I have that clarity in a sense, but then I have no way of...
But you could make a lot of commitments quickly. Does that make sense? So you can fit a lot of commitments into a short period of time. They can be very, very simple. So you can, you still have the mala. So you can just say, during this breath, I am going to move it 5 times. That's it. That's the whole commitment. You're not even going to concentrate. You're just going to move it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did it. I did the thing I committed to. That's it. Now I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. That's it. And then you can make commitment after commitment quickly. Follow through quickly. And then you carefully may raise the challenge level, but not in a way that entices you to fail too much. So I was just talking to someone who was experimenting with this, and he was saying that the goal had been, I will keep my concentration for the whole meal. I'm going to keep my concentration for the whole meal. But that just wasn't possible. And so he changed it to, I will be mindful of each bite just for 1 moment. And he made much more progress with the latter than with the former. It was feasible, it was doable, and you wanted this to be feasible. And so you do that in a number of ways. One is you increase the amount of energy that you're applying, as I was saying, and the other is that you make sure that what you're aiming for is reasonable and ideally is quick, is pretty quick. So you can make it harder without lengthening the period of time. And then you just have more time. But you know how it is. Here we are. This isn't about avoiding our karma. No, do everything you can. Be creative. Not a very romantic answer, but it's the best answer I have right now.